Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today we're going to grab a head of fresh cauliflower, truly one of the most underrated ingredients at supermarkets, and create an extraordinary Spanish recipe. We're talking Spanish cauliflower fritters. These are known as tortillitas de coliflor. And let me tell you, these fritters have a light crispy texture on the outside with a beautiful depth of flavors in the inside. The recipe is very easy to make, where there's no tricky techniques or special equipment needed. And the best part, it's made with simple everyday ingredients. Folks, serve these fritters as a tapas appetizer, or even as a side dish next to some grilled fish. Either way, it's the kind of food that's going to fill your body with so much goodness. Really quick before we start, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Phil Segarra, David Machado, Tommy Williams, Jim Schaller, and Barbara Eastman. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. All right, let's just dive right into this. I'm going to fill a stock pot with some water. You want to go to a little over the halfway point. Then we'll season generously with sea salt and heat it with a high heat. While the water's heating, I'm going to cut one small head of fresh cauliflower into 4 evenly sized pieces. The size of the head that I'm using is 350 grams, which is about 3/4 of a pound. And then we'll cut off the florets from each piece. And you want to make sure they're all similar in size, that way they all evenly cook. And then we'll add in the florets of cauliflower into a colander and rinse them under some water. Once the water comes to a boil in the stock pot, we'll add in the florets of cauliflower. And we're going to boil them between 5 to 6 minutes or until they're just tender. After 5 to 6 minutes and the cauliflower is just tender, you can always pierce it with a toothpick just to ensure that it's done. This is ready to go. And I tell you, you don't want to overboil a cauliflower, otherwise it's going to end up with a mushy texture. At this point, I'm going to remove the stock pot from the heat and drain the cauliflower into a colander. Then we'll shake off any of the excess water. Transfer the cauliflower into a large bowl. And using a potato masher or a large fork, we'll mash on the cauliflower to break the florets apart. For the next step, I'm going to add in half a cup of all-purpose flour into a large bowl, which is 60 grams, and make a well in the middle. Then we'll crack in 1 large egg and whisk the egg. And then we'll add in half a cup of beer, which is 120 milliliters, and whisk everything together until we end up with a smooth batter. If beer is not your thing, you can also use club soda here, or even sparkling water. Once we end up with a smooth batter, we'll add in the cauliflower, along with 1 shallot that's been finely chopped, 1 clove of garlic that's been finely grated, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley, which is 8 grams, and half a teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 1.25 grams. Then we'll season with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper, and we'll give it a mix until it's well mixed together. And that's the exact texture you want from your batter. If you see that yours is too thick, add in some more liquid, and vice versa if it's too thin, add in some more flour. But like I've told you in the past, these fritter batters are very forgiving, meaning even if you don't have it right on the money, you're still going to end up with delicious fritters. For the final step, let's start cooking them up. I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat, and add in a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 60 milliliters. Important to use the good stuff here. This is what truly flavors the fritters. Link where you get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. After a couple minutes, we'll start adding in spoonfuls of the batter. You want to make sure all the fritters are in a single layer and evenly spaced out, so cook this in batches to not overcrowd the pan. And we're going to go 3 to 4 minutes per side here until those fritters are golden fried all around. And as you finish each batch, transfer the fritters into a dish with some paper towels. Once all the fritters have been fried up, let's make a very simple mayo alioli that takes them to the next level. I'm going to add in 2 cloves of garlic that I roughly chopped into a mortar, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams. Link where you can get the Spanish golden saffron I'm using in the description box below. And a pinch of sea salt. And using a pestle, we'll pound down on the ingredients until we form a paste-like texture. You can also use a stand-up blender here, food processor, or even a NutriBullet. Then we'll add in 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, which is 120 grams. 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice, which is 5 milliliters. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is 15 milliliters. And season with a kiss of sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a whisk until we end up with a creamy sauce. Then we'll transfer the mayo alioli into a serving dish and decorate the fritters around it. And check it out, folks, our Spanish cauliflower fritters are done. Easy to make, restaurant quality presentation, and all done using the simplest ingredients. Let's give these a try and see how they turned out. Once again, folks, tortillitas de coliflor. These look absolutely delicious. Here we go. I just want to go swimming in there. That's so good. You have that light crispy texture on the outside. It's so many great flavors with that cauliflower really shining through, and that mayo alioli rounds out for the perfect balance of goodness with that saffron, that beautiful Spanish touch. Easy to make, simple ingredients. Give it a try at home. Once again, as a topless appetizer, or even as a side dish next to some grilled fish. Either way, the kind of food that's gonna fill you with so much goodness. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.